muted still. Hello!
Hello!
Oh god. OBS crashed. If OBS crashes again, well, we're done. We're not going to bother with it. That's how...
At least not this week.
That's the kind of day I've been having.
Yeah, feels like that, right?
Just a little bit, you know? Hello again. I'm Elk Udez. I am one of the head conductors with One Up Station. I am joined today with researcher Ryan.
Hi!
An additional head conductor. But he is going to do his spiel now because I've interrupted him.
No, you're good, you're good. No, my name is Researcher Ryan, as you can see above my name, above me.
Above my name?
Yeah, above my name. Like above my name, it says it again, and then again and again, but it's just really small, and it keeps going infinitely.
Yeah.
But no, I'm a Pokemon variety streamer on Twitch and Pokemon content creator on YouTube. And also you're one of your head conductors here, and I am not playing May on the left. I know it's weird. I'm not. I'm like on the right, and it's very weird now.
You are on the right. It is very weird, and that is.
If anybody hasn't seen our It Takes Two playthrough, it's up on. There's a whole playlist up on YouTube right now.
Yes.
So y'all should go check it out for sure.
Yeah. Let's do some housekeeping, which we don't have very much. Typically, to start off, anything we talk about today is the opinion of two people who kind of think alike often. So, anything we say that upsets you or offends you or in some way destroys your childhood, sorry. Moving
Good.
on.
I mean, sorry.
Also, come hang out with us in our Discord. Links are some places. They're all over. We don't have a bot yet. I have been delaying being a bot. It's a problem. I know.
We're having a bit of a time.
It's been a rough couple of weeks. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Just things on things. Last week being Father's Day, I went home, so I wasn't here to do the podcast, and I think you were hanging out with your dad. And E3 was going on.
My dad as well. E3 went on all week that week. Yeah,
E3 was just crazy.
I'd say like in the past, like basically the entirety of June has just been kind of a mess.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's been a bit all over the place, and we are 4 or 5 people trying to make something happen. One day, it hopefully will be more.
Was it in June that like all of like the world started like to be like we're opening up and being regular again?
That too.
Like I feel like that's like really thrown a wrench in like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Than like at least with life I've gotten used to, a little bit.
Yeah, it started making it has started to make a lot of things more hectic, right? So just the process of opening things back up has really, it hasn't given me more work, but it's like mentally in there.
It's just mentally more exhausting because it's not like haven't been dealing with people for the past year, almost 2. I think it's more of the anxiety I get now that things are opening again, and I personally still don't feel like it's good to go out yet. And be out and about, and so you see people that are like not wearing their masks because they've gotten their vaccines, possibly people who have not gotten their vaccines, and I think that's the main thing that scares me is the people who are like I don't care if I'm not vaccinated, they're not gonna know, and they don't wear their masks anyway because they don't feel like it. I think that just scares me a lot.
It's one of those things where it's right. So the main risk is not to yourself, it's to others, and those people who decide to not get vaccinated and not wear masks. They risk other people. You have the same risk if you wear a mask if you don't, but to other people it's different.
Yep.
I see it a lot with the younger people. A lot of the younger people will just not be in masks, and it's like, yeah, but like you guys would have had to been brought by like parents and stuff, which is harder. So like maybe you didn't get vaccinated. I also don't agree with the fact that they opened up. I think they should have waited another month or two. But that's
Yeah, I would have waited till the end of summer. But I know they wanted to probably do big summer festivities, especially in the States, like, because that's the only opinion we really have is like statewide. And really East Coast, Northeast area.
Yeah.
That's the only opinion we've got. But I assume that they're like, we can't have a second 4th of July lockdown. We can't do that. That is like un-American or whatever. Like,
yeah, something
stupid.
I don't know. It's fine. I intend to keep wearing a mask. Well, like into next year.
Yeah, same.
And if anyone has a problem with that, take it up with someone who cares.
Yeah.
Someone who cares about the.
Yeah, with 4th of July coming up, actually this coming weekend, I'm a little nervous to see if there's going to be a big spike that happens. I haven't been keeping track of numbers recently because it does like I don't want to cause more anxiety to myself.
Yeah. I feel that. I feel you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is going on with that. But other housekeeping, we have positions still open if you wanted to come be a conductor. All that information is in the Discord, which should be in the links down below to YouTube and Twitch. If they're not in the links down below, I'm sure we'll find that. You guys can find them by just searching us up.
What is that like dance move back in the 90s and like aerobics? That's just like the chugga 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 woo. That's what it's like when you join One Up Station. That's what it can be anyway.
That's what it can be. That's right. Other housekeeping, we have YouTube series going up. Spoiler alert: we finished It Takes Two, but
we're done recording it.
Episodes are not out yet. We got a couple of more to go. But
and we're planning our next projects for the channel. So we're in like planning phases for that right now.
We have stuff in the works. Hopefully, I'm not as integral to this part coming up. I don't think. Maybe I am. I don't remember. Remembering.
Yeah, I don't know either. We've got some stuff possibly with the other conductors coming up on the YouTube channel, or at least trying to see if they're interested in doing anything right away. But yeah, we miss them. I hope they're doing well.
Yeah, they're all kind of. Excuse me for the yawn. They've all kind of taken a short break, which is reasonable, seeing as the world is open back up and the summer is in full swing. And I get it. But yeah, let's talk a bit about E3.
Woo!
Yes. So exciting. I wasn't super thrilled with most of E3. Primarily there were two showcases that I was like, yes, more, yes. And then like one game from another showcase that I was like, cool, and then the showcase is kind of dipped. Let's talk about that one first. Let's talk about Square Enix real quick. So Square Enix showed off a whole bunch of games, but the one that I care about, and I think Ryan can contest to this, or not contest, agree to this, is the Avengers Guardians of the Galaxy game. Just from the initial looks at it, it looks great and amazing. I know there was like some negative backlash from them showing that because people wanted to see more Avengers stuff. And that's like, yeah, sure, but they showed you a full-fledged Guardian of the Galaxy game that looks hella fucking good. So all of you haters, shut up and appreciate what you got.
Right, and they did show Avengers stuff later on.
Yeah.
But they know that the Avengers game tanked because it is not what people thought it was going to be, and it was, from my hearsay, for what I've heard on the internet, is just like it's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
And it's really disappointing. Ian's game looks awesome. I'm like really pumped about it, and it looks like they showed off exactly what they needed to show off. People will argue it was a little long, but I really liked what I saw over there. Thought it was cool.
Honestly, I think it was a good length.
Yeah.
I think it was a good length for what else they had to show, right? If they were also going to be showing like 4 other things that were like intense, it could it have done better if it was at the end of the showcase? Maybe.
I almost would have preferred if that was like their big reveal, like save that for the end.
Save it for the end.
Yeah, because that would have been awesome to see like at the end.
Yeah, it would have been more in the forefront. I mean, technically, it's at the front of the end of the showcase. It's technically more in the forefront of your mind because that's just how the human brain remembers things. But yeah, it could be.
I think it probably would have played better at the end too, because like what they did right after their trailer was they did like a whole gameplay sequence, and the benefit of that is that we get to see the game like running in time and see how it works and functions, right? That's like the positive thing. The negative thing is it reveals stuff. It spoils stuff for people who don't want to know that. And they just wanted like their trailer to see like the fancy schmancy stuff about it with like the little bits of gameplay like in teasing. But to see like full on like sequences play out, I feel like is a bit spoilery. So playing it at the end, people could have dipped out, be like, "Hey, this is the last thing we got to show," and they show the trailer for the Guardians of the Galaxy game, and be like, "Hey, now we're gonna tune into some. We're gonna show off some gameplay of it." And they could have even did it live. They could have did live gameplay of that.
Yeah,
like commentating.
That would have cool. I don't think they have the game working well enough to do live. But
yeah, possibly.
But I playing a little bit of devil's advocate with you, right?
Yeah.
The idea of like it's spoilering stuff, it's probably the first mission. It's probably something that happens in the first 10 minutes of the game, and it probably doesn't even set up anything for the actual game.
Probably. Yeah, no, so probably not.
It's probably not as much of a spoiler as people would think. But it could be. It could be like the last mission of the game, and they realize like, let's just show off the last mission of the game and be dicks about it. Like you never know. You never know.
Yeah, because I believe like one of the first Marvel Spider-Man trailers by Insomniac, and the first like gameplay stuff was like from the end of the game.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that it was going to be the end of the game until I played it myself. And I was like, wow, this thing didn't happen yet that I saw when it was first announced and like released.
Yeah.
And then it was like the last thing to happen. I was like, oh, that's weird. I thought so this game was going to be about was like fighting all the villains, not the last thing I do.
Yeah, it's strange, right? It's a choice by those producers and stuff to pick what they want to show off and what they don't. But I'm not in that world. I don't know what works. I don't know what doesn't. As far as that goes,
I would love to be in it just to see, but
in my opinion, it probably should have been at the end. As like
things I would have loved to have seen from Square, personally, just because Square is like one of the big companies I really enjoy because I like my RPGs. They had like a Dragon Quest 35th event like a couple weeks prior, like 2-3 weeks prior, and I would love to see like a gameplay demo footage or a teaser trailer or something for like the next Dragon Quest game that they're showing off. Like Dragon Quest 12 got its title teaser and just the drop, but I would love to see like, hey, here's that teaser drop and like a cutscene, like the opening cutscene or something like that, if they even got that far, which they probably haven't because that game's not coming, I think, until the end of 2022, maybe mid 2023. They just said it was in development, but they could have showed off like the because they have a remake of Dragon Quest 3. The like the HD 2D style, like Octopath Traveler and Project Triangle Strategy, that like 3D pixel art style. They've got that in the remake for Dragon Quest 3, and I would have liked to just, even though we know it exists, I would have liked to have seen it at E3. I know it's not a big Western title, but it seems like they want to try to promote Dragon Quest in the West a bit more, especially after 11's success.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
I'm
not a big player of those games, and I know you are. So like, you're more of your bread and butter than mine. But like, I could look at it in the bread aisle for a little bit and be like, maybe.
I think the more eyes that are on it to be like, hey, this game looks cool, the better, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why they wouldn't want to, because it's such a good series. that I've only recently gotten into in the past couple years. And to be like such a diehard fan of like from a franchise that I just got into like so recently kind of speaks volumes about like how good it really is, I feel like.
Yeah, it's interesting when you find a good game and you kind of like make it your main game for a bit. Like, it obviously means it's something good for you and it's a good game. I remember when I did that with My Time at Portia. I freaking hit that game and I ran.
And now you're at a My Time series, like.
Yo, listen, My Time at Sandrock's coming. I'm fucking stoked. They have a demo out and I don't want to play it. Because I'm like don't just give me the whole game. I don't even want to touch the demo. I don't want to see what I'm gonna get. I just want to get it.
Do they know how? Do you know how long the demo is?
No idea. No idea. It's a story demo though.
So like it carries over.
I don't know if it carries over, but I don't want to play. I don't want to play it if
I get it.
I just want the game.
The best way for any RPG like that to hook anybody in with a demo is to make it like the first like couple of hours of game. Just release that and say, hey, when you finish this, your save carries over.
Yeah.
So you can just play and then be like, cool, I've got a really good taste of it for free. And now I can continue. I actually want to invest time into this game. That's how Dragon Quest XI-S got me.
Yeah.
There's a 10-hour demo on the Switch.
Oh my god, 10 hours.
Yeah. It's a free game, basically. It's the first couple of chapters, or first like chapter and a half, like of the game. And I sunk my time into it and was like, that's it. I'm gonna get this game. I'm having a blast. And the characters are great. So
speaking of Nintendo, let's move away from Square Enix. I think their disappointment is over. Let's go talk about Guardian's great. Everything else. Let's go talk about Nintendo's Direct on Tuesday. I personally was a little disappointed in it, but we'll get to that. What were you thinking about it? What was your favorite parts from it?
So I watched it live, and I watched it in my Discord with one of my community members who decided he would hang out with me while watching it. And I had a good time. Starting off, I think they had the reveal in Smash for the next character in the DLC Fighter Pass. I think it's Fighter Pass 2. And it was Kazuya from Tekken, which a lot of people are upset with because it's another fighter. Like we had Terry Bogard from Final Fight, or Fatal Fury. I can't remember exactly. I think it's Final Fight. In DLC Pass 1, and we already have Ryu and Ken. But it's like now we're wrapping up a trifecta of characters from like fighting games that are like super iconic. The only ones that could be missing, or the only ones that are like missing if they would ever do that, would be Mortal Kombat and Soul Calibur. That I can think of off the top of my head, because I'm not a super big fighting game guy. But I thought it was cool. I was like, I respect it. I'm not personally excited that Kazuya is in Smash, but I think it's a really cool choice. And the Tekken fans that are getting Kazuya, I hope he's awesome. And not broken.
Yeah, well, Nintendo has a tendency to release a character that's a little broken and then dial them back. Yeah, I was okay with more Smash announcements for the most part. Do I think they should have opened with it? No, I think they could have opened with something else. I don't know. Smash in the past has had its own directs, so to give it a part of the overall direct, I was more concerned that it was just going to turn into like half of it being about Smash and then the other half being like indie game, big trailer announcement, and then being over. Which it kind of was. Not really, because they didn't spend that long on Smash. They announced him, they showed him off for like a minute, and then they like moved on. They didn't do like what they did with the last character, where they had 30 minutes of his name
of
is
gameplay and
of
an explanation.
I forget the name of the guy who makes them. It's escaped my brain.
Is it Sephiroth from Final Fantasy?
No, the person who the developer who.
Oh, Sakurai. Yeah.
Yeah, Sakurai. It's not 30 minutes of Sakurai just explaining how every move works in intricate detail, which was like cool.
Yeah.
I get it. His up B does things and then has like 4 hits and like whatever it was.
Yeah. That's cool for the fans.
That's cool for like
of
the sweats.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it wasn't that. I'm glad it didn't like get super in depth on like exactly how this character works with like a fine tooth comb, and they were just kind of like moved on.
This wasn't the one for it. They're doing another video later that is going into that detail, and I think typically that's what they've been doing for a little while. And I've noticed this too, is like when now that we're getting more Smash reveals, and like since they've been doing the DLC, whenever there's a direct, they open with the Smash reveal, or they close with it depending on the direct, if they don't have anything bigger. But typically they'll open with the Smash direct, which is why I was just surprised seeing a bunch of people who do watch these directs constantly be like, "What game is this?" Because they know it was Smash. They knew it was Smash right away because it's always Smash that opens the direct because it's hype, but it's not super hype. It's not like the big end-all flashy thing that they want to show off.
Right.
It's to get people engaged.
I just pulled up the games that they actually announced at the Nintendo Direct.
Oh, good, because I forgot half of them.
Yeah. They talked about Life is Strange and whatever. Moving on, don't care.
Yeah, I was watching that stream and I was like, and I saw that trailer show up and I was like, is this Life is Strange? Because like something about it struck me as Life is Strange, even though the art style was so different. I was like, oh, but like the art style is not the same. It's not Life is Strange. And then like the train car opens up and it's the protagonist from Life is Strange. It's like, oh, weird. Collection of Life is Strange on the Switch.
Yeah.
Cool. We could have just, fine.
Could have just.
We didn't need that.
We didn't need it.
Epic trailer. Yeah, it was weird.
Super Monkey Ball Mania. And Mario Party Superstar, they're lumped together, but the Super Monkey Ball Mania release on October 15th, and All Stars Random Online Users October 29th.
Nice. I think the Monkey Ball collection looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
The Banana Mania looks pretty cool. I'm down to play it. Because I think it's 1, 2, and something else. I forget exactly which one it is.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Yeah, it said it in the trailer. But I thought it was a super collection, like where they had all the games of Super Monkey Ball just on Switch. And I was like, yo, that's epic. Because that's what it looked like. But regardless, I think that's cool. I've never played Monkey Ball, but I've always been like a little interested to be like, why do people like this game so much? So I might pick it up, give it a shot, see if there's a demo.
It's an interesting game. I haven't played it myself in a while, but little other things they talked about: Monster Hunter Stories 2, Shin Mega Tensei 5, Danganronpa Decades, Fatal Frame, Made in the Black Water, Advanced Wars Reboot Camp. I have no idea what that is.
Advanced Wars.
I remember what it is now.
Yeah, Advanced Wars is the games that were on the Game Boy Advance, the tactical RPGs that existed, akin to Fire Emblem, and they're getting their remakes, which is super awesome because we haven't seen those games in like over 10 years.
They talked a bit about the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
I was surprised that it made it to Switch.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was going to be too powerful to like run on Switch, but it looks like they're going to optimize it and try to make it run on Switch. Frame rate's going to be bad.
Frame rate's going to be awful. Everything about it's going to be awful on the Switch.
Yeah.
2 Point Campus, Just Dance 2022, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, plus a new Power Awakens set. I don't know what that is. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, Doom Eternal, The Ancient Gods Part 1, Strange Barguard, and announcements could come to the Switch. But all of those are just kind of like small potato. Let's talk about like a medium potato. We get a new WarioWare game.
Yeah, that was nice to see.
Yeah, it was
That's one of their B C tier
tier
like
games.
games that needed some love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was interesting to see. I think I think on the Switch is going to be great. I think it's going to be a
Yeah, it's a
cool.
fun little party game to have for friends and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I think it'll do pretty well. Not like nothing like I got to buy it today kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's not something that generally appeals to me because I don't have company over a lot
Yeah.
to like go through and play micro games like that. And I don't think I could see myself playing them by myself.
Yeah, Then we have the other B tier, probably more in the B tier. We have Mario Golf Super Rush, which is already out.
It came out.
It
came out Friday.
Came out Friday.
It's actually pretty fun. I only played the 64 version of Mario Golf. So like that jump is pretty nice. I think the last golf game before that I played was like Wii Sports Golf, which that doesn't super count.
Yeah, no, it does not count.
Yeah, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I actually brought my Switch with me to work so that I could play a couple of holes like while on my break. I was like, this is kind of nice, like having something casual to just pick up.
Yeah, I haven't picked it up yet.
Around.
It looks interesting. I would have to look into more of it. It doesn't look like so I played Golf Story a while ago, and Golf Story was really great. It had a really good like story to it and stuff, and I'm not 100% sure if Mario Golf has a good story. I haven't really looked into it.
I can tell you right now, the adventure mode is not like super worth it. Like I'm playing it, but it's just kind of lackluster. It's nothing exciting. It's just you're me going through and trying to be the best golfer, and you'll be facing off against the other like Mario Golf characters. Where the real like bread and butter of it is the multiplayer and online play. The game is going to really flourish in its online, I feel like. For those who have it, I think the people who have been playing online are really enjoying it. Okay. I want to play it with friends. Ideally for me, I get like 4 friends or 3 other friends of mine, and then we get into a lobby and we play golf and like talk smack or like really just get into it and be like, oh, don't mess up your shot. Don't mess up your shot. And I feel like that's like the gonna be the enjoyment of it. I would like to see a ranking system, like a tier system, like a ranked mode. That'd be cool. But other than that, it's like I would wait for it to go on sale.
Yeah.
If it ever reaches $30, it's probably then worth the pickup.
Nintendo putting anything
because that'll be as cheap as it ever gets.
Nintendo putting anything on sale. What a joke.
So I can see that being one of the things that they put a promo for, like maybe holiday season.
Yeah, I could see it too. It's just
like it'll drop to 40 maybe at the lowest.
Just the general idea of anything Nintendo. There's still games from like 5 years ago that are still full price from Nintendo.
You want to know how expensive Heart Gold and Soul Silver, Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver are?
Oh, they're probably more than $60 now.
Their games have always been about $80 since launch, like the resale value has been like $80. It's like $200 and something now to get a copy of the game. And I'm like, these games aren't that good. Controversial opinion, I know, but it's not worth $200.
No.
Those aren't the best generations for it either.
No. All right. Let's talk Metroid Dread and Fusion for a brief moment.
Metroid Dread looks like it's going to be the Halloween game I'm super excited for this year. How they presented this trailer. First off, the title for Metroid Dread is a 15-year-old leak. in case you didn't know. Like, that was a leak that happened 15 years ago. They were working on Metroid Dread, and then it never made any, like, anything. Like, somebody dropped that name. And the way they presented this game, just, like, you're in this environment that Samus is very vulnerable to, is really cool. Especially because Samus is such a badass character. This trailer got me to be like, okay, I'm going to try out some of the Metroid games so that and I want to play them all so that way I know what's going on in Dread. Because it's the most recent in the timeline, the actual canonical timeline. And I really like Zero Mission. Like, it's really funny that announcement got Fusion and Zero Mission to, like, jump up in its like, either in its downloads and, like, trending. Like, it's so funny.
Yeah, I saw it. It looked interesting. I'm not a Metroid fanboy. So, like, when they showed it off, I was like, oh, cool, they're giving a new Metroid game. I think it's like, isn't it its 25th year anniversary or something like that?
Yeah, it's also 35 years, along with Zelda.
35.
Yep.
So it's like, cool, it's really great that it's coming out this year for that. I know that it's been their, like, B+ tier stuff, right? Like, Metroid.
Yep.
That's
like their A tier, like, whatever. Like, not their S. Their S tiers are like Zelda, Mario, Pokemon.
Oh, sure. If we're gonna go S tiers, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably their A tier.
It's an A tier.
Yeah.
It's, Metroid and Animal Crossing and whatever, all A tiers. But, like, it's cool. We didn't see anything for Animal Crossing. I don't know if there's anything new really coming out for that game.
I want to say that there aren't any events planned for 2021. Like, no new events planned for the remaining of the year. I think the last big update was, like, the Hello Kitty, like, crossover stuff. I forget. It's like a Sanrio, I think, is, like, the name of the group, but I think that's like the last big update that they've had.
Yeah.
But I was hoping that we would get, like, some of the Nintendo items back from New Leaf, because we had the Mario update for Mario's 35th. So I was really hoping that we would get, like, a Zelda and Metroid, like, theme, like, items that would come out in Animal Crossing that year.
That would have been really cool.
But yeah,
they did not do that.
No. Kind of upsetting.
Yeah, so just to finish the thought on Metroid, right? It looks cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll pick it up, but I'm glad that they finally gave the Metroid fans something.
Yes.
Let's talk about the highlight or at least the highlight for me of the Direct, the Legend of Zelda and Game & Watch that they showed.
Yeah.
Hands down. No, it is something that they showed. It's really cool. I don't think I'd get it.
They made one for Mario's 35th as well, and it was cool. Like, I love it. I appreciate it. Not something I want in my collector's collection, my gaming collection.
It's got 3 games in it. It's got The Legend of Zelda, Legend of Zelda 2, Link's Adventure, and The Legend of Zelda
and Link's Awakening. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then a Game & Watch game specifically for that, with, like, cool, like, Zelda 1 themes or Zelda themes for, like, with their clocks. And I'm like, that's kind of neat. It's neat.
The highlight game that they showed off, Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. They showed the DLC Wave 1 stuff for that.
I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be fun.
I think it'll be a lot of fun. I got to get back into it.
Yeah, that game's not talked about enough, I feel like. Like, it kind of came and went. And it's really unfortunate because it's a really good game.
Yeah.
And I know people don't like Warriors games a lot. But this one felt like it wasn't as, like, grindy as others have been in the past.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the story of it. I thought it was fun.
It looks like the DLCs looks exciting.
Master Cycle Zero, though, looks cool. Zelda riding the Master Cycle.
Yeah, it was pretty.
That's pretty tight.
But yeah, we'll have more information about it. Skyward Sword HD coming on July 16th. Cool.
Oh yeah, it's like 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I put my pre-order in it for it already because I haven't played that game since its 25th year, so it's been 10 years since I played it.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. And then they dropped a Breath of the Wild 2 trailer.
The sequel to Breath of
To
the
the
Wild.
Wild. I don't know when the last time I've seen a game with 2 in a title. Thinking about it, like right now in this exact moment,
Yeah.
like games.
Splatoon 2 for me is like the last I can think of.
Sure, but like, all right, how about this? Non-Nintendo products that have 2 in the title.
The Last of Us Part 2.
Part 2. It's a little. All right, you know, I'll give it to you.
A little tricky there.
Yeah, sequels have gone away from putting just 2 at the end of the original name, but
Yeah.
I get it. I understand why they do that. They want it to seem like it's a different game that you don't have to play the first one for, but a lot of the times you do.
Yeah. I think they're trying to tease more about what's in the story of the game than
Then yeah,
than it just being a direct sequel, like the events continue.
yeah. The I like the trailer a lot. I think it shows. It does that thing that all trailers do, where it kind of shows off a little too much in some regards,
And not enough in others.
and not enough in others. It showed off all the new stuff. Link has this like missing arm shtick that looks really cool.
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of analysis about the trailer. And it looks like, and this is what I saw like in the trailer too. So it's not like super like deep or mind blowing, but it looks like his arm got corrupted by Ganon or the Malice. And so that hand, that glowy hand that's holding Ganon down, reaches out and grabs Link to save him in the first trailer when he drops. And that tries to like protect him. That's why he's got like these weird like rune-like protrusions.
See, I was thinking he has those rune-like protrusions because he got like, they like gave him an arm, like gave him a prosthetic, like he lost his arm in that moment.
Okay. I don't know. I would say it's probably more of he didn't. I don't think they're gonna rip his arm off in that game. I would love that because then we get like Twilight Princess levels of darkness in that game.
Yeah,
That'd be tight.
I'm telling you, man. I'm a-okay with them doing like a 1.6 using the same engine to make a game and doing it quick, and it like a Majora's Mask style thing where it's like the same game but it's different. Ugh.
Yeah. It feels like that's kind of what they're doing, but they're also expanding on the ideas of that were in Breath of the Wild, which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just his arm gets corrupted by Malice. Cause I want to say, and I can, because other people have said this too, and I kind of agree that Ganon is looking for a new vessel, and I think he's going to try to take over Link as his vessel, because his body's ancient, decrepit, and bloody blah, and he needs like a new body. But then like that Sheikah armor tech says no and like blocks it and keeps it in check, and then also gives him abilities.
Okay, I can get behind it. I'm not a big fan of it, but I can get behind it.
I think it's really dark too, because it means our hero is really vulnerable, and then our threat is present in a new way. Because you know how like in Breath of the Wild, you'd always be able to see Hyrule Castle. Just in the smack dab middle, it's our evil presence that we can always see. But then like now it's like, we can still always see our evil presence, whether or not it's Hyrule Castle or not. But we can always see it on us. Like the threat is always there.
Yeah.
You never know when it could strike back at you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot of theories going on about the actual story yet, but
yeah,
I'm sure they'll release another trailer soon, and we'll be like, we were all wrong about the thing we said. Instead, it's Zelda turned into Princess Peach and is flying through the air now for some reason.
Yeah.
All the games are one. All games are one. But we'll see. We'll see what actually happens with them.
The one thing that disappointed me with this trailer, though, was that it kind of deconfirms that Zelda's a playable character.
Sure.
Because, like, I was really liking the idea that potentially they were going to do, like, a co-op sort of thing, or something you could switch between Link and Zelda, and they were going on the adventure together. because that's what the first trailer kind of led up to. But seeing that Zelda falls into like a pit somewhere, and she's like falling. I think that kind of kills that.
Destroys it.
That destroys the dream. Like deconfirms it. But I'm curious about how we get island to island, because I don't think it's just that water ability.
No, I don't think so either. It'd be really cool if they brought Loft Wings back into it, and they're like hiding that from us. That'd be pretty tight. And that's like why Skyward Sword's more
like they're wild, and you have to like try to mount them like the horses in Breath of the Wild.
And you gotta like,
oh, that'd be so cool.
And like they haven't shown it off yet, but like your arm is your grappling hook, so like your arm would stretch all the way out and grab and like pull you all the way in.
If we get an arm grappling hook like Bionic Commando or whatever, like just like or Sekiro, like you just get to like latch out to ledges and grab stuff. I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I've been asking for. This is what the first Breath of the Wild was missing, was the hook shot and like that kind of traversal.
That's the dream.
That's what I want. Yeah,
that's the dream.
That's the dream. I'm praying. Nintendo, if you're listening, I know you're not.
I know you're not.
But please.
I know you're not listening. wait. Let's play some Nintendo music, and then they'll know.
Then they'll be listening. That's funny.
But yeah, that was basically it. Oh, I missed Ace Attorney and Ace Attorney 2 and whatever.
That's exciting.
It's exciting. It's just it is not Breath of the Wild 2 and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. This is where a sponsor would go if we had a sponsor. Xbox and Bethesda. I have their games pulled up, but what immediately do you remember?
Is that everything is coming to Xbox Game Pass.
Oh, did you hear?
Literally everything.
Did you hear it's coming to Xbox Game Pass? I heard it 27 times.
Out of the 30 games
they showed? Out of the 30 games they showed. Xbox, I love you. I want you to know something real dear to my heart. If you have 27 games coming to Xbox Game Pass on day one, you don't have to tell me every single time a trailer plays. Just lump all of those games together and put the tag at the beginning and the end, and maybe one in the middle. I'll give you one in the middle for 27.
Give me a slate that says games in the demonstration coming to Game Pass. Like something at top and all the logos. Like that's all I needed.
Yeah, that's it. I did not need there to be an extra probably
5 seconds.
Well, right, so it's 5 seconds times 27, so a minute and a half, 2 minutes of just you telling me it's coming to Xbox Game Pass. I got it. It's coming to Xbox Game Pass.
It's a meme at this point.
Do
you know what, guys?
Yeah.
We are here to announce today that One Up Station is officially coming to Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're going to Xbox Game Pass. That's it. We're done. We sold out to Xbox Game Pass. All right, but an actual game you remember. Anything?
Yes, actual games. I don't really remember any of the games. Yes. If you'd watched them not in the presentation, it's nice to know.
Yes.
But they didn't need that in the presentation. They could have had that just specifically for the trailers. But I agree with you.
I agree with you too, Jess.
Also, hello, Jess.
Yes, also, hello. I know something you're excited about. Psychonauts 2. Coming to Xbox.
Yeah. I have it pre-installed on my Game Pass. I have to play the first one still. I've actually never played the first one. It's been recommended to me a couple of times. I think there's like a Twitch loot thing, or there was like some sort of gaming thing that I had like forever ago that I ended up getting Psychonauts for free. I tried to play it on my laptop at the time, but my laptop at the time was not able to run it.
Yeah.
But now it's on Xbox Game Pass, so I have it installed on my computer. And it's on my list of games. Probably after I finish New Super Lucky's Tale, I might actually jump into that.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I know you just got more excited about it than I did.
I thought it was cool.
I just sent you a thing. You can look at it
see.
and be on the same page as me of what I'm reading. Reading from, rather.
Yes.
12 minutes was that time loopy gameplay thing from like the top down where The puzzle game. Do you remember it at all?
Sorry, I gotta scroll all the way down.
Yeah, you'll find it. It's about a little bit before halfway through.
A little bit before halfway through?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
It's right after the it's right after the Strangers of Paradise trailer. And it's like the Stalkers 2 is the first trailer in that section.
What is the title called?
Xbox and Bethesda Showcase.
Alright, hold on. Controlling Fing this.
Yeah. But yeah, 12 minutes was that top-down puzzle game that like it loops on itself in like a time paradox.
Oh, there it is.
I thought it was pretty interesting. I'll probably end up playing again at least once. It's coming to Xbox Game Pass, so that's a fun little bit. August release date. A lot of August release dates here that I'm seeing.
Summer's gonna be busy.
Yeah, summer's gonna be real busy. The end of summer, middle of summer. It's a good time for games this year, for smaller games too, mainly, right? All the big games kind of are weeding out. We saw more Halo stuff. Looks dope. I'm not as big into Halo anymore as I used to be. Slime Rancher 2.
I'm glad it's there, you know?
Yeah, I am glad it's there. I'm glad that they announced Halo stuff. Slime Rancher 2, definitely top of my list. I definitely will play
You
that
were really
game.
excited about that.
Yeah.
I remember we were watching it and you were like, yo, what?
Yeah, what? Let's go. And I was like, 2020 or 2022. Oh, shit, that sucks.
You were like, it looks done.
Look's done. Why are you waiting? I don't get it.
And that's when I got upset. Because I was like, yeah, Pokemon Legends Arceus looks way worse than that, and it's coming out sooner.
Look, you in that game need to have a weekend alone to talk it out. And
No, it just needs to be, it needs to be better. It needs to do better.
I don't know if it will. I don't know if it will.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, but I was excited for that. There's also Far Cry 6 announced. That's going to be a cool one. Console launch exclusive. But they showed it off. They showed off a trailer. I like the Far Cry series. I don't play it as often as I did when it was new. But when it was new, I played it all the time. And that was a lot of fun. We gotta talk about the car game later. It's gotta be the last thing we talk about. It's gonna be way too long. No, their showcase though itself, like overall, their showcase was pretty cool. There's a lot of games on here that the way that they did their showcase was really great. They brought a guy out, they had them talk a bit about Xbox stuff, and then they just showed you 30 games. And like,
Yeah.
quickly enough where it wasn't like bogged down. They didn't put like bullshit in between each one of them other than the on Xbox Game Pass, but that's also supposed to be nitpicky, and at some point it just became a meme to me that they were just doing it for every game.
Constantly. Yeah. No, I agree. Actually, I think the one thing that Xbox did probably the best out of a lot of the games that we saw that were at E3 was there was just a lot of gameplay trailers.
Yeah.
There were a handful of cinematic trailers from bigger studios like Battlefield. Like they just like did a straight game like cinematic trailer. Outer Worlds 2 also just had a cinematic trailer.
Yeah, but Outer Worlds 2 knew that they wouldn't have a gameplay trailer, so they made their cinematic trailer.
They made a
funniest
great
thing.
parody trailer.
The funniest parody trailer I think I've seen in a long time for a video game.
Meta as fuck.
An establishing
And it
shot
serves as
to
a
make
great
you feel-
tutorial too.
Yeah, it's tutorial for anyone who wants to make those types of trailers. Go take a look. An establishing shot to make the character feel more important than the world that they're in. We're smaller.
We
than
only
they are.
show his silhouette because the character design isn't finished yet.
A monster who probably won't be in the final game.
Spoilers. It's not.
It was a good trailer.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was a good time. But yeah, there's just a lot of if you haven't watched the Xbox game showcase, I recommend going to do it.
At the very least, go over to Microsoft and like on the on YouTube probably, or Xbox on YouTube, and like watch the different trailers that they showed.
Yeah. Find a super
and just pick and choose what looks interesting.
There was definitely a lot of good games on there to like add to your wish lists and stuff. They showed off a great number of them. So
yeah,
it was good.
And what's cool too is like I think they had is it for the whole month of June? Xbox Game Pass is $1.
I think it's always your first month of Xbox Game Pass is $1.
Oh, is it always your first month of Xbox Game Pass is $1? That's cool. But it did its job and it promoted Xbox Game Pass a lot. And it made it seem like it was actually a worthwhile investment. And I'm like, I was sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, these are all going to be like $60, $70 games.
Yeah.
And I can play them for a monthly fee, like at any point that I want.
Yeah.
And any of the games that come out or have been out on this service that stay there. I'm like, this seems like a pretty...
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal. It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal.
So, although we've given Xbox Game Pass some shit,
we have both bought it since then.
We've both bought it since it came out. So it did its job. It did its job.
It did its job, man. I cannot fault them because it worked.
Yeah. But yeah, that's really what it is. They did what they needed to do. Anything else from
honestly, if that's the route they go from now on, like I could see. Oh, we forgot the best announcement that Xbox showed off.
Oh,
I don't know if you were getting to it.
I didn't. I don't think so. What are you talking about?
The Xbox mini fridge.
Oh my god, I totally forgot. Yeah, the mini fridge, the real life mini fridge. Yeah.
That's like, I think, a working console?
No, I don't think it's a working console. I think it's
Are
just
you sure?
I'm pretty sure it's just a mini fridge.
I really hope it's a working console and a mini fridge.
But it's great that it's a mini fridge.
Yeah. They embrace the meme.
They embrace the meme, man. They embrace the memes. We did forget a game.
Which one?
We forgot the game because the Nintendo talked about it for like 30 seconds. And it was a part of the Ubisoft stuff.
Oh, yes!
Yeah.
Oh! Mario plus Rabbids. Was it Sparks of Hope? Spark of Hope?
Sparks of Hope.
Ah.
That game.
Now, that game looks amazing.
Oh, Mikagi with the raid. What up?
Yogi, thank you for the raid.
What up, Raiders? Hi, we're doing the podcast. We're doing the feud.
Yeah.
We're just talking a little bit about E3. I've gone through a bunch of it already, so I apologize for you guys being late. Well,
yes.
Basically, we talked about Nintendo. Everyone should go get Xbox Game Pass, and I'm disappointed in Nintendo. Ryan is not.
I am, but not. At the same time, I'm happy about what they did show. I would have liked to see other stuff.
Yeah.
But I wasn't expecting to see any other stuff.
Yeah.
So it met my expectations, and the things that I did see that I wasn't expecting to be super wowed by, kind of blew me away.
Yeah.
In some regards, and I was like, "Yo, that's pretty tight." Yeah, we're big Nintendo fans here too, random guy. Punch Out's tight.
God, I thought you were just calling some guy a random guy. I get it now.
He's that random guy.
He's that random guy. Mario plus Rabbids. Super stoked. I liked the first game a lot. The second one being just more of the same craziness, I'm down for. It looks like they've revamped the way that their movement and fighting tech works, so that's kind of cool.
I was watching a little bit more on the game because they have a bunch of trailers and overview and discussions about it, about the development, and it looks like, and it kind of shows this on the trailer too. They have a separate map for encounters now, so
okay.
It's not the levels are a little bit more open, but every enemy can like you could run into an enemy and have the encounter. And then it brings you to a battle map.
Okay, so a little bit more Mario-y, a little bit still of the same.
Yeah,
that's kind of how Mario is, right? You got
exactly. You
kind of run around.
It would be like like Paper Mario.
Yeah,
kind of.
Like more like Paper Mario.
All the enemies are there on the map, and you run into them, and then you go to a battle map, or like a lot of JRPGs or stuff like that. Yeah. I'm curious to see exactly how the mechanics work. I'm assuming that there's a meter that each character has in terms of how much like it'll cost for movement and for attacking. That we just didn't see in the trailer. But it looks super cool, and I'm very excited about it. Because I still haven't finished the first Mario plus Rabbids game, but I definitely want to.
Yeah, I know.
I'm 3/4 of the way through it, just about, or I'm halfway through the game, really. I'm like, I gotta finish this. It's been on my list forever.
I played it all the way through, 100%ed it, and then I started it again and got about halfway through and stopped.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. I haven't played it in a long time, and I probably should pick it up again before the Sparks of Hope come out. But yeah, we also forgot another game. Mainly because
we're getting all the games today.
Well, mainly because we just don't. I don't think we counted it as an E3 announcement, and our brains just kind of put it into its own little bubble. Sea of Thieves announced their big Pirates.
Oh yeah.
Stuff through the
Xbox that was pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Been playing a little bit of it. It came out a couple of days ago. If you don't know about it, get on Sea of Thieves. They've partnered with Disney to make Jack Sparrow come to Sea of Thieves. You get to play. Jack Sparrow will play alongside you and all of that other kind of fun stuff, and it's a good old time. But
yeah, I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. Yeah. I've been taking a small break from Sea of Thieves because I think I got a little burnt out on it. I played it a lot before this update came out, and I was like, you know what, maybe I should spend some time with some other stuff before jumping back out to the open seas. But I'll get to it.
Yeah.
Let people have their fun with it, and then I can go in when nobody's thinking about it.
yeah. It's pretty good. But I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to talk about from E3 on this list? This seems to be the de facto list of everything that I have.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that like stood out to me that I can remember. They showed off like they had like a new games or a future games like conference at some point. And it was really cool. They had like they had at some point the virtual show floor, and they showed off a bunch of games that were like, hey, these games are available for you to download on Steam now for demos. And I tried a handful of them. There's one other that I didn't get to try. The ones I did try, I'm actually gonna pull up my Steam right now so I can like see them. But I know one of them is Trifox. And Trifox is it's like a top-down dungeon gunner, whatever. I don't really know how to explain this genre. I don't really play this genre very often, but I've seen games similar to it before. But like you get an option of a couple characters, you get to run through a level. It's a lot of fun to just be able to play stuff down. I really like that a lot. The other one I played was A Tale of Paper, which looks like a little 3D creepy puzzle platformer of some sorts.
I'm gonna keep listening to you. I'm gonna go fix something really quick.
Yeah, no problem. And then the last one I downloaded but I didn't actually try was the Beacon Pines. What's your question, random guy? What's up? I tried out the first Tall Tale of Pirate's Life, and I don't know if it was just me, but personally I didn't like it. I just thought it was a little bland. We'll try because it's the first part of the story. It's not like anything super exciting, and it's leading up to more. Because there's 5 tall tales?
There's 5 tall tales divided.
Yeah, there's 5 tall tales. So that's probably just like you're getting exposition and you're doing the first thing.
Yeah.
And then as you go on, it gets to be a little bit more exciting.
It's also just the excitement of getting to see Jack and getting to see all the other characters from the show or from the movie, and doing things with them.
Yeah, I feel like it's really good for Disney fans. And like I'm a big Disney fan. I believe you are too.
Yeah. I'm a Disney fan, but I'm leaning more towards Pixar now than Disney. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I personally loved the Pirates movies. Like growing up, I thought they were awesome. I had a really good time with them. And so it was super exciting to see Jack in Pirate and Sea of Thieves. And I'm excited to try it out. I think it'll be fun to try out. And like, experience that aspect of it. I can see why a lot of people who are fans of Sea of Thieves though wouldn't like it, because from what you've said and what I've heard from others is that it is separate a little bit.
So the first tale is separate completely. The second tale is pseudo separate, and actually it's causing a lot of problems because it's pseudo separate, because it locks you into a location, but other people can start the same tale, and because it's all in the same location, if they start after you've started, it will reset it, but then it won't let you progress because you're supposed to be past that part. It's very complicated and very overdone. Once it dies down a bit, though, it'll balance itself out. It's just like, it feels super glitchy, but it's really not. It's just the fact that other people have started the same tale as you, and it's going on the same place. It's the same idea if 2 people went to go do the Shores of Gold. You could start the Shores of Gold and get like partway through it, and now because you're partway through it, somebody else has already started it, so now it's like not sure whose progress is whose, and gets all confused.
Yeah, that's a fault of how they laid it out, and not
the
game.
And then the other 3, I think, are actually separated out as well, which is like weird that they didn't separate it out for that one, and that's that one that's really early on.
Yeah.
But I don't make decisions at companies like that, because if I did, I would have made a real different decision a real long time ago.
Yeah. There's parts of me that, like, for me, I'm like, especially someone who wants to enjoy that story and what they want to show off and experience those events. I'm really happy that it's separate from the rest of the game. Not that I can't go visit those areas in the rest of the game if I can't. But I like that I can do these story bits and not have to worry about some guy sneaking up on me while I'm in the middle of an actual cutscene that I can't see anything happening around me in.
Right.
And or like I'm really invested in this thing and I just get killed because somebody decided they wanted to be a troll.
Right.
Because you would have had a bunch of people day one. Like, if it was just, like, on the server with everybody else, you would have had a bunch of people day one play the game, and you would have had all the sweaty people who do play that game and like to be assholes camp those spots, kill everybody, and nobody would have gotten a chance to enjoy the story.
Yeah, well, so it, like, kind of happened like that for the second one, although not because it respawns you if you're in the middle of the tall tale, basically where you die in that section, because that's the only section that other players can fight you. It made no sense. Also, there's no loot there, so like legitimately it's just people who are there to try and be dicks. And as much as like we think that's the case, it's just a lot of people really like getting in fights with other people to actually fight. So like, if you're not fighting, a lot of the times they'll be like, oh, these people aren't fighting back. Like, it's not as fun to not have a challenge. Yeah. So like, typically speaking, unless other people have done something to antagonize people who are sweating and like trying to like sink people's ships or PvP people, as long as you haven't like done something, or you don't have like an emissary flag, or you don't have like a ton of loot, if you have like nothing, a lot of the times they're just like, you guys don't have anything, what would be the point in fighting you?
Yeah,
we should just...
I know when we've played a couple of times, we've had nothing.
Yeah, I know.
And they harassed us anyway.
Yeah, we've
And
been
I'm
there.
like, you guys are just really sweaty.
Yeah, these guys are just kind of gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's his own thing. But I'm still excited for it. I have to finish. I only did the first two. I have to do 3, 4, and 5 still. Just busy with life. You know, crazy me.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. But all right. I think unless you got anything else, I'm wrapping.
Yeah,
up.
I'm just trying to think really quick if there was anything that like stood out to me that I really wanted to at least elaborate a little bit more on.
Oh, we totally forgot to talk about Forza Horizon 5. This is another section where we talk about Forza Horizon 5 for way too long. And it's the same 5 footage clips, just looped at different angles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the one thing I will say is that what they did show about Forza Horizon 5 was that it looks really pretty.
Oh yeah, it looks like a great game.
Like it's a really cool technological marvel in realism, and how they decided to go about making the tracks and the terrain. So like on them, kudos. That's cool. But from a gameplay standpoint, I'm not super sure I want to do it. I have it pre-installed because I'm like, I have it on Xbox Game Pass. It's there. I might as well try it and see what the hype is about. So I'm looking forward to seeing like if it's actually worth the hype or worth the time. But I'm curious about it. It looks pretty. If anything, it's something that I could just look at. I just want to look at the environments and be like, wow, I cannot believe they managed to make this in like a game.
Yeah.
And I can interact with it. Like that's cool.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I'll definitely probably try it out because I have Game Pass and it won't take very long. But it wouldn't be a game that I would pick up myself. And they've spent a long time on it, which once again is just another thing of me being like, how many people really buy this game and actually play it? Why are you spending like a quarter of your showcase showing it off, or your post showcase showing it off? And my brain immediately goes to, it's probably the most done game they have.
I mean, Forza is very popular. It's a very popular franchise.
That is true.
I don't get it, but the same people that but I also understand that it's just not my demographic. It's like when I get excited about Mario Kart, not everybody's going to be excited about Mario Kart. Like it's just not my thing. Cool that it happened. Just not really excited.
I'm not as excited for it.
Yeah. A game that we kind of glossed over and kind of just batched it in with stuff. I'm actually really excited for the Mario Party Superstars.
Yep.
I think that seems really cool. I like that they've remade the N64 maps, like a couple of them, and they're like picking the best games from across the series to throw into this game.
Right.
And I'm assuming adding some new ones too. I can't imagine that they just spent all their time porting and just creating assets for these games that already existed.
Nintendo could do whatever they want and we'd all say okay and just go along.
Yeah. Will it be worth $60? I don't think so.
No, probably not.
But it'll be a fun. See, the big problem is everybody's like, and this is the argument I don't really like. It's everybody's like, it's just glorified DLC. Like they should have just made this DLC for Super Mario Party, and it's not, because you can tell it's not the same game. Yeah. And I guess the reason why people really feel that way too, and I understand it from this perspective, is that like a month or two before they announced Superstars at E3, they gave a big update to New Super Mario Party to fix their online, essentially. Or like help it run better, to be like, oh, you can play these boards with friends. Or there's online multiplayer now. So that was a big reason why nobody had bought the game before, and then they bought it when it got the online, and they paid the full $60 to play Super Mario Party, to then find out like a month later a new Mario Party game was coming out. Not even DLC, just like a new Mario Party game was coming out. And so it seems like a really shitty kind of marketing move that they did, to be like, hey, you know that game that we made a couple of years ago that we haven't really supported? Hey, here's an update for it. And then a month later be like, yeah, you know that game that you just paid $60 for? Here's a new game that's the exact same game.
Yeah. I just, I don't know, man. Nintendo's gonna do what they want to do.
They're gonna do what they want to do, but like I see where everybody's like coming from in terms of like they're upset. But for me, the person who bought it day one, bought Super Mario Party day one, this is kind of exciting because it's like, cool, I've been wanting a new Mario Party game because the last one was not that great.
Yeah, no, the last one was not.
It's fun, but it's not great. No, it's not one of those games I can play over and over again. I think the last one I played like constantly was like Mario Party 6 or 7. It was on the GameCube, and it had the day-night cycle.
Day and night, yeah.
And I really liked that one. So, yeah. I think that's pretty much it about E3.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good for E3. That ate up a lot more of the time than I thought it was. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. What are your overall thoughts about E3 this year? What do you think they could have done better about this year?
I think E3 needs to be reworked. I don't think it's as good as... I don't think there needs to be E3 anymore. General consensus, right, is that E3 was around because we needed to know stuff for release in December, but because print media took so long to get out, if they had one in June, they could get it out for like October, November, so people could buy stuff for December. The problem now is that we have stuff instantaneously.
Right.
So E3 in its whole, like, all of these people announce all of these things at the same time, gets kind of overwhelming. You know, it's a lot of information, it's a lot of games, and when you do that, you run the risk of your game being buried by a different game. So I think overall, E3 itself could just be broken down into everybody having announcements throughout the entire summer. And that'd be fine. Have your announcements whenever you want them to be. You don't have to do a batch announcement. Why are we doing batch announcements?
Yeah.
You know, Xbox can do their own little Xbox Game Pass announcement thing where they show off like things sporadically and being like, this month, do it monthly. This month on Xbox Game Pass, these games. You know, have one mid-year big announcement that shows off everything that's coming next year, not this year.
I think that's probably why we've seen PlayStation Sony step away from E3, because Nintendo started this trend where they are doing like announcements throughout the year.
Yep. Like
with their presentations. So now we have these big presentations throughout the year instead of waiting for the big summer event. Like, this is the big summer event where we get to see all of our games, and we got to keep notes down to be like, these are all the games I want for the remainder of the year.
Right.
And what I'm expecting to see in the future. So we get a lot more news about games throughout the year, and that really kind of hurt E3. I think E3 will evolve again, because it used to just be an electronics expo. It used to be just the kind of thing that you would see new things about a computer. You used to see new pieces of technology, and it was just showcasing that. And then it became a video game conference. And it might go back to a new technology conference, you know, like software development, app development. What are things that are being worked on and developed on? And it's possible that that's something we can see in the future. I mean, that's basically what it is now, but with video games. But I don't think we need to see that for video games. I think we would need to see that for like development, like game development, film development, like production work and stuff like that, or like electronic media. Like,
Yeah.
how are these AIs developing? What are we doing to do this? Like, it could be a cool thing to see that, because that's all E3 is, an electronics expo.
But overall, about this E3, right? Not the future of E3. This E3 felt boring. There was a lot of really boring conferences. There was 2 pretty okay ones. And then like every conference had like maybe 1 good game in it, but to watch the entire conference for 1 good game, I'll wait for somebody to make a compilation. Xbox showcase was amazing. Everyone should go watch that showcase and pick all of the games they want and go buy Xbox Game Pass.
Yep.
Because they're gonna come out with a whole bunch of really cool stuff, and soon. Nintendo for me was half baked. I think you liked it more than I did.
I probably liked it more than you did, but I think my still overall level is like half baked, but like maybe it's a little more just undercooked.
Yeah. Square had 1 good game. They showed it off beautifully, and then they should have just ended their showcase, because everything after that I didn't care about. I just
everything that they had to show, I think, could have been shown elsewhere, not on their own stuff.
Yeah.
But like they didn't have really the means to show off a presentation today, because their big titles didn't really get a presentation. Like, they did and they didn't, right? Like, we got the Final Fantasy Echoes, I think, or whatever. Like, there was like a new game for Final Fantasy, which is a big game. It's a big title, big franchise that comes out. But it wasn't anything mind blowing. Like, we just saw like a little cutscene that there was a playable demo, but apparently that demo was actually crap, because it didn't work for like a good like however long, and then they rebooted it.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I'm not either. And so like there's I think that Square just didn't have the right things to announce, right? They didn't have like any new game that was like really showing off for the first time. That was like, here's a really cool thing. Like, if they showed like a new Kingdom Hearts game like in development, or like gave that kind of teaser, that would have been big. That would have been really big for them. Like the next installment, like Final Fantasy 16. Like, if they showed off like Final Fantasy 16 was being made, like in development.
Awesome. Sure. The idea of having another Final Fantasy game is just way out there for me, but sure.
Right. I mean, I think that 16. Comes to your preference to not really caring for Square Enix as a developer.
I just don't. I'm not a huge fan of Final Fantasy, but also on top of that, they have 16 other games. How many more do you want?
Yeah,
but I get it. I get why they keep making them. People really do enjoy them. People like that story and teach their own.
It's not like one story. So Final Fantasy is just different stories, different worlds, just similar-ish mechanics or familiar mechanics. But I'm curious to see what they're doing with that. Yeah, there's other stuff I would have been really excited to see. And I would have liked to see a little bit more about other stuff. So overall, I guess my opinions of E3 is like, it was like not the greatest it's ever been. But like, I understand where it's coming from too. This is the first E3 after the pandemic.
Yeah.
Which last year, 2020, marked a really big shift in how people are working. And so I can understand that the games that were supposed to be announced at E3 2021, or things that were supposed to be announced at E3 2021, or even games that should have been released in 2020 and 2021, they all got delayed. Yeah. Everything in the world got delayed by an exorbitant amount of time.
Yeah.
And so I'm a little bit more optimistic and thrilled about what we saw at E3 this year, considering that fact, right? Like, with that the pandemic in mind, I think that E3 did really good, because just the way that things work. You know, I work in media, so like I know how things got messed up.
Yeah.
Anybody who works remotely now, which is most people who work behind an office, like in an office, they all work remotely now.
Yeah.
So learning how to collaborate like that when the office life was so like close knit, it was just like right around the corner. Now it's like I got to respond to this email that's like, and I have this meeting that I have to be a part of. That's taking up my time. I have to get used to working at home because I have family, I have animals, whatever.
Yeah, there's just more going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everything getting delayed, plus staff like getting cut, like.
Yeah, probably not being able to afford to keep people on, even though they need to be on to make the next product, and it just like this cycle of like, well, no one's putting in money anywhere because everyone's terrified. But if we don't put money into this, people won't buy the thing, but they're still
exactly.
And it's just like that loop of like, you know.
So my prediction is that E3 2022 is going to be crazy.
Oh yeah, next year's hopefully
next year's going to be insane.
It's going to be
it's going to be a big
company is going to have so many announcements, and it's going to be just ridiculous.
Because the past couple years at E3 have been a little lackluster. I think the last big one that we had was when Sony had that conference that was way too dumb, and they transported everybody from lobby to lobby,
and it took everybody like 30 minutes to walk from one lobby to the other.
They only showed off 4 games, but it was still like an hour and a half for their showcase.
God, it was such a bad showcase. It was
really bad.
It was such a bad year for Sony, and then they're like, "Oh man, we really fucked up last year. We're not coming back anymore."
They had amazing games come out that year, like The Last of Us Part 2, and Ghost of Tsushima were announced at that E3. Came out the year following, or the years come like last year for 2020, and both of those games were nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
And won several awards throughout Game of the Year, the Game Awards this past year. So that was pretty cool. But I think 2022 is going to be like a 2017. 2017 was a gigantic E3 that had a bunch of amazing announcements. That year was a crazy year for games, just for the sheer quantity of top tier games that came out. So yeah, I have high hopes for 2022. E3. There's only a handful of things that I know that we'll see at that point because we have to. I think at this point, like Bayonetta 3, Metroid Prime 4, we have to see those games next year.
I would like to.
I know I personally would really like to as well. Ideally, I know it's not going to happen, but I would love it. Mario Kart 9, or whatever they're going to call it. I think it's time for a new Mario Kart game. 8 Deluxe is just the Wii U game brought over to the Switch, and we haven't had a new Mario Kart game yet since then.
I mean, you heard.
No, it's been like 5 years.
It's coming eventually. It's coming soon.
Yeah. They're working on it.
All right.
But yeah.
Well, thank you.
That's all I have for E3.
Mr. Researcher Ryan.
Thank you, Mr. LQ does.
You can find us at our respective /Twitches with our names up above. Also down below in the description of this Twitch, you can find the Discord for One Up Station. Come hang out, be fruitful and merry, and talk. We're gonna skip the recap because we've been recapping as we've gone on.
As we went, yeah.
But basically, minimal recap. Ether was pretty alright. Kind of a lame potato with some hot spots. Get Xbox Game Pass, and
if it's within your means.
If it's within your means, and Nintendo's got a big year coming next year, so look out.
Yes. Yeah. I'm excited.
Thank you all for being here, and we will see you next time after dark.
Bye!